Hey everyone, welcome to your weekly wrap up. I wanted to check in with you guys and let you know that one of the things that we've been chatting about a lot on our coaching calls has really been about the notion of getting our SOPs in order. And originally, so many of you, when you guys had come into my schedule, had chatted with me about the importance of being able to get organized, get systems in place, and get our SOPs kind of in line as we start getting organized and prepared to either grow teams or build stronger and better businesses. So I wanted to kind of share a couple of ideas as we kind of get prepared together to build out our SOPs and build procedures. You know, when we talk about and think about SOPs, it kind of sounds like this big, daunting word and complex strategy and structure, but it actually isn't that much of a complicated and complex system. When you think about it, when you want to build out an SOP, what we're actually doing is defining a process and a system by which we actually run our business. So let's think about it this way. When you get a call, when you get a lead, what is the first thing that you do with that lead? Well, for example, we might reach out to that contact. So let's start by writing that down. What is the process involved to reaching out to that contact? Well, number one, we put them in our CRM. So we would write that down. So if we would take a blank Word document, for example, and write it down and say, lead comes in, we contact that lead, and this is the script that we use to reach out to that lead. So write out exactly what we do step by step and keep a Google Doc or keep a Word document so that we can actually document and follow the process that we're following step by step as we're doing. And the best time to write an SOP is just before we're about to start a brand new process. So if we're getting a list or a specific set of brand new buyers, that is the best time to start a buyer SOP, not when you're at the end of the process, because when you're end of the process, that is typically a little bit more difficult because that's when you're trying to remember stuff that you may have done in the beginning. So right when you're at the beginning of the process is a great time because you can write your SOP as you're going through the process and say, this is what I'm doing right at this time, this is what I'm doing right at that time. And then you can look over the process and say, you know what? I don't really like the way that I'm doing this. I don't really like the way that I'm doing that. And then you can really get very, very detailed and finite and explicit to be able to make corrections to things as you go along the way. What that also allows you to do is find your leverage pieces to say, you know what, I'm spending a lot of time doing things that don't make me money, and I can leverage these items, I can leverage these things and make more money doing the things that, spend my time in the things that make me more money and push over and leverage the things that don't make me money. So spend the time in the things that pay me $300 an hour versus, spending the time spending the time doing the things that pay me $20 an hour. So we really want to be able to focus our efforts on the leverage pieces, the leverage tools. So writing out the SOPs from the process, from the beginning to end. So an SOP might take you, 20 minutes to write. If it's, for example, how you manage your content calendar on a month-to-month basis, or an SOP could take you 3 months to write as you're actually following the process of how you manage a buyer from start to finish so that you can make sure you have documented every single detailed process. So what I've done for you for this week is I've gathered some kind of ideas for you to be able to define how you put out your SOPs. And I've also included a listing checklist and just some ideas and some listing presentation stuff and just some resources at the bottom for you to kind of think about how you want to be able to put your SOPs together and just kind of get your mind thinking and churning about how you can better define and get your systems better organized and structured. So I hope this will help you as we go into the fourth quarter. We typically front load our transactions into the beginning of the quarter as things tend to move into seasonality towards the end of the quarter. And then we can start going into our planning phase and start working towards the beginning of next year, where we will try to front load as much our transactions into the beginning of the year so that we don't have to play catch up at the end of the year, bearing in mind that there's always a seasonality effect at the beginning of the year. So I hope you guys have an amazing week this week, and look forward to seeing you guys on our calls and making this a super powerful quarter so that we can have an amazing January. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will talk to you on our calls.